Hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Play Gothic. This is a RPG by Piranha Bytes. It came out back in 2008. Or 2008? No. By then Gothic 3 had come out. 2001. And it's difficult to get running on modern PCs. There is a guide on the forums. I'm using some basic mods to make the game look a little better. I've installed the version 1.08K patch. For some reason, the Steam version is 1.08J. I am using the player kit, which allows you to use mods. The system kit, which adds some modern features like widescreen or removing the FPS lock, that sort of thing. The DX11 mod, which allows me to actually record it, because I believe that OBS needs to hook into DX11. And I'm using Freddy's Texture mod, which is basically using the higher resolution Gothic 2 textures. So the game is going to look a little bit better. Before we hop into the game, I do want to talk about the controls a bit, because the default controls are a bit weird for a modern gamer. So, this is typically an arrow key game. This is my setup. I have W and S to move forward, Q and E to turn, A and D to strafe, as you'd expect. Take out my weapon with F or space. I can take action with the R key, jump with space. I should probably make that a pure... Oh. The controls are a little weird anyway. Run with right alt, sneak with the left control key. Yeah, there are some weird initial keybinds. These are what I personally use. I'm probably going to tweak them a little bit even within the game. I do have everything turned up all the way, 300% visual range. I have sky effects turned off because supposedly rain with these mods can corrupt saves. So turn on sky effects at your own risk. Subtitles, animated windows, and review, no, mouse, play. Yeah, this is such an old game that you weren't even expected to necessarily play with the mouse. Let's see. I'm playing at the highest possible resolution. Music could stand to be a little louder. It's a loud game, though. Yeah, sound cards. Alright, so, let's get started with the game. We are a nameless prisoner sent to a prison colony to mine magic ore to... Oh, wait.
The kingdom of Murtana.
Oh, it works.
By King Robar II. During the long years of his reign, he was able to defeat all foes of his realm. All except one. The war against the orcs took its toll, and the prisoners of the realm were to pay the price. The king needed swords for his army, and every man guilty of a crime, no matter how insignificant, was forced to work in the ore mines of Corinus. To make it impossible for them to escape, the king sent out the best magicians of the kingdom to create a magic barrier around the entire valley. I was one of them. Something disturbed the delicate structure of magic. We were trapped inside our own barrier. 1 second of negligence was enough for the prisoners. Corinus was now under the control of the convicts. The king had no choice. He had to negotiate. He needed the ore. Month after month, the king supplied everything the prisoners needed. Month after month, they brought the ore to the edge of the barrier in exchange. Until the present day. Another convict was brought to the cliff. He did not know, but he would change everything.
In the name of King Robar II, bearer of the scepter of Verant, I sentence this convict to...
Stop. Convict. I've got an offer to make you. This letter must reach the leader of the Magicians of Fire.
You're wasting your time.
You may choose your own reward. They'll give you anything you ask for.
Very well. I'll take your letter. On one condition. Spare me the rest of his nonsense.
How dare you?
Keep silent. Right. Send him in.
Welcome to the colony. That's enough. Leave him alone. And now scram. Get up. I'm Diego.
I'm
not interested in who you are. You've just arrived. I look after the new arrivals. That's all for now. If you plan to stay alive for a while, you should talk to me. But of course, I won't keep you from choosing your own destruction. Well, what do you think?
Wow, I didn't realize how tiny the text is. That's gonna be a problem. Okay, what do I need to know about this place? Why did you help me? I have a letter for the High Magician of the Circle of Fire. Well, first let's find out what we need to survive.
okay. What do I need to know about this place?
We call it the colony. You'll know already that we produce ore for the king. Well, at least we do, in the old camp. There are 3 camps within the barrier. The old camp is the biggest, and it was the first.
How do I get to the old camp, then?
How do I get to the old camp?
You just follow this path. The old camp is the next reasonably safe-looking place you'll come across. There are a lot of wild beasts between the camps. You'd be mad to walk around without a weapon.
And where will I get a weapon?
Where do I get a weapon?
When you get to the old mine, have a look around. I'm sure you'll find something useful. The mine is easy to find. It's just a few meters along the canyon.
Why did you help me?
Because you needed help. Otherwise, Bullet and his boys might have killed you. And I couldn't just stand by and watch. Because I came all this way to make a suggestion.
A suggestion?
Yes. After this little incident with Bullet and his guys, you should be aware now that you need protection. Everyone who arrives here has a choice. There are 3 camps in the colony, and you'll have to join one of them. I'm here to show the new ones that the old camp is the best place for them.
Where's Bullet now?
He and the others bring the goods from the outside world into camp. You'll find him there. But if you plan to fight him, be careful. He's an experienced warrior.
I have a letter for the High Magician of the Circle of Fire.
Really?
I was given it by a mage shortly before they threw me in here.
You're lucky I can't afford to show my face around the mages anymore. Anyone else would gladly slit your throat for that letter. That's because the mages pay their couriers a lot, and most people here don't have anything. If I were you, I'd shut up until I met one of the mages. Although in your situation, that's not likely to happen.
Why not?
The mages are in the castle in the old camp. Only Gomez's people are allowed to enter the castle.
Oh, I should probably mention, the menu controls, you can either use your movement keys or the scroll wheel. And you can use your action key or the left mouse button.
Who's Gomez?
Gomez is the most powerful ore baron. He's the boss of the old camp, the most powerful man in the colony.
Let's assume I want to join his people. What do I need to do?
At the gate of the castle, you'll find a man called Thoris. Tell him Diego sent you.
Thanks for your help.
We'll meet in the old camp.
So the reason I was like, oh, it works, is in the version of the game that I played, which was pretty much the same thing without the DX11 mod, which, by the way, hitting F11 will actually let me do some things. I don't know if this menu is showing up in OBS, but I can do things like tweak individual draw distances, increase the resolution, increase shadow quality, brightness, lots of stuff. The videos did not work in the version I'd played previously. So, this is an old school game in that you start with nothing to your name. Absolutely nothing except for the letter to the Magicians of Fire. And you do not start out very powerful at all. You start with 40 hit points, 5 mana points, no skill with any weapons, a 90% chance of failing at pickpocketing and opening locks. Yeah, you are not a powerful person. You are a random convict, and you need to get strong. What did I set my action key to? R. Which is also a look key. Let's see. Just set that to, like, the arrow keys. It's been a while since I've played, so I'm gonna have to mess with the controls a little. Let's see. I'll get into combat controls later. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Oh, alternative is just straight up what I used. Hang on 1 second. There are some control quirks that I've forgotten about. You hold the action button and press the forward button to pick up items. So we've picked up some beer, which is actually without use except for selling. You're going to be picking up and selling a lot of beer. And a single magical ore nugget. Ore nuggets are the currency in this game. Gold coins are not useful. I'm not sure what that effect is. I've not seen that before. So we need to get... Ooh, a torch. That's actually handy in this game. We need to get ourselves equipped with something. Even just a rusty pickaxe would do. It wouldn't do a lot of good, but at this point, we just need to be able to hit something and then get away from it, you know? Let's see. So, this game has a lot of features in common with, or at least a lot of design philosophies in common with a series that you might be more familiar with, the Risen series, because it's another Bronobite series. Oop, we've got some guards up here. Let's see. Back up so I can target it, hold the control key, and move up. Ori.
What are you doing here?
Making sure no one gets near the exchange place, especially one of those cutthroats from the new camp. You're the new guy they chucked in today, right?
That's me.
Then you'd better watch out for the guys from the new camp. I work for the old camp, same as the others you saw at the exchange place. I assume you've talked to Diego.
Yes, I have.
Good. Then you know what's what around here.
Why do I have to watch out for the guys from the new camp?
Compared to the new camp, the old camp's a quiet, peaceful sort of place. The new camp doesn't get any deliveries from the outside world. Most of the rogues there just steal whatever they need.
And the old camp?
The ore barons have everything under control. Next in line to them are the guards, followed by the shadows. The diggers are the lowest. Everyone who arrives here starts out as a digger. If you want to become something better than that, you'll have to get accepted as a shadow first.
Let's see.
I'm looking for a weapon.
There should be some old weapons by the derelict mine, further down the canyon. But don't go and start a war with nothing but a rusty pickaxe for a weapon. Those things are slow and heavy. An inexperienced fighter should never use one of them, unless it's an emergency.
Let's see, no need to talk about a hazing. Yeah.
You better make sure you reach the old camp in one piece.
Let's keep poking around a little. This is one of those games where you never know where you're gonna find a little nook or cranny with a chest that has, you know, not an amazing piece of gear, but something that'll help you survive better. Let's see. Generic guard. Keep forgetting you have to hold the button. Let's see. We've got a meat bug here. We can't really hit it, though, I don't think. Yeah. Meat bugs are useful in that they provide, well, meat. It's not much, but meat can be cooked for some very low-level healing. We'll need to remember there are some over here, though. A single arrow. Some more berries. This is one of those games where you want to pick up absolutely everything. Even if it doesn't have a use, you can sell it and you have no inventory limit. Let's see. In this chest we have some beer, coins, arrows, a torch, and a lockpick. Excellent. the arrows, we're not going to be able to actually take advantage of for a little bit. I'm not sure why we're suddenly not wanting to jump. I tend to use the left mouse button as an action button more than the actual control key. Let's see, we've got a pickaxe now. Yeah, like I said, these gold coins don't have a real use. They're just there for, like, kind of a, hey, you know this thing you'd expect to be useful? It's not thing. Let's see. How do I... It, again, forgive me, it's been a while since I've equipped things. Equip weapon. Yeah, some of the controls are not intuitive at all. Ah. Again, it's the up thing. I don't remember having to do that, though. I wonder if something changed when I installed one of the mods or something. In any case, we do have a weapon, should the need for it arise. And yes, this is actually replacing... Fable 2, because that's something I want to re-experience on my own rather than LP. Another pickaxe. Another torch. Again, pick everything up. You can sell it. There's no inventory space. Let's see. Doesn't look like we can really benefit much from going over there. Again, I apologize for the small text. I'll probably lower the resolution a bit, but one nice thing about the DX11 thing is you would not be able to see the old camp from here because of the fog, or that tower in the distance, or any of this stuff. This is awesome. Let's see. I want to avoid that animal. I want to pick up this rusty sword and this ore nugget. But that animals in the prison camp are extremely territorial, so until you're ready to fight, I don't recommend doing that. Alright, rusty sword. It's a bit better. Also, combat controls. Once you draw your weapon, you hold down the action key and press left, right, or up. And that's how you swing your weapon. It's really simple, and you'll get even more speed on your weapon and that sort of thing as you gain training in those weapon classes. If I go back into my character sheet, you can see we can train in one-handed, two-handed, bow, and crossbow weapons. You're going to want a mix of them, eventually. Huh, shadows just loaded in. Alright. We've got some more berries. We're gonna have to fight one of these. Let's not make it 2 yet. Combat will gain you experience points, but you get significantly more for questing. Now, they will approach you, but if you know how to deal with them and when to swing, you will not be in danger. Animals will drop meat, and you can get training to extract hides, claws, and teeth. Really, for money. There is no crafting system in this game. These juvenile scavengers pose no real threat. They're really just here for you to learn the combat system. I was extremely confused by the combat system at first because I am admittedly used to tutorials, which this game does not have. It's from 2001. They weren't really a complete standard. We've got some herbs. Again, there's no crafting. Alchemy wasn't implemented until the sequel, so don't worry about hoarding herbs to make potions or anything. Some blueberries. Now, this game does have some jank, both mechanical and visual, so keep that in mind when I talk about some things. Hey, these guys are wearing blue.
Hey, you.
What do you want?
I want to warn you. If you continue this way, you'll be entering our hunting ground.
What do you hunt?
Mostly scavengers. There's a lot of meat on them. Besides, it ain't too hard to get them. Once you know how.
Really? How's that?
Ask my friend Drax here. He knows more about these things than anyone.
Why is this area so dangerous?
You've just arrived, haven't you? There are different areas in this colony which are all more or less dangerous. The paths between the camps are quite safe, but even there you might come across some wolves which look on you as easy prey. And that's exactly what you are until you get a proper weapon and armor.
That's actually very true.
Where can I get better equipment?
The nearest place is that old camp. Just follow the path that brought you here. But you can get the stuff cheaper in our new camp, provided you know it. If you go to the old camp, ask for Mordray. He's one of us. For just a little ore, he'll sell you the proper goods.
Tell me more about the areas of the colony.
If you travel between the camps, you'll need a map to distinguish paths and dead ends. Dead ends often lead you to dangerous canyons where you encounter creatures you'd better avoid. Do not enter the old ruins. There are too many around here, and most of them are old fortifications dating back to the time of the First Orc War. Some are abandoned orc dwellings. There are often orcs in those ruins, or even worse creatures. I'd avoid those places, especially at night. And one more hint. Don't go into the forest.
Where do I get a map?
Ask the people in the old camp. There's a cartographer living there. Maybe you can steal one of his maps. If you manage to do it, take one from me as well.
Why? Doesn't he sell the maps?
If you get enough ore to pay for them.
Thanks for your help.
Don't go thinking everyone's gonna be so friendly, kid. There may not be much in a newcomer's pockets, but some folks would even beat you up for a pickaxe.
I'll keep it in mind.
And Drax.
You're hunting, aren't you?
Looks like it. What do you want?
Do you have some hints for the hunt?
I could teach you a few things, but everything has its price.
Which would be how much?
A good gulp of beer will do, to start with. Then we'll see.
Here you are. Take a beer and tell me about hunting.
Scavengers. That's what we call the big birds. Should be attacked one after the other. It's easy to lure single scavengers from the pack. If you come too After a while, they'll storm in your direction. At this point, you should be waiting for them with a raised weapon. If you manage to strike the beast before it hits you, you have to keep fighting. Then you'll be able to defeat the creature without being hurt yourself. If it hits you first, well, just don't let him.
What else can you tell me about hunting?
A lot, but it'll cost you more than a beer. If you know how, you can take the creature's teeth, claws, and skin. It's hard to get them, but they are valuable. At least every merchant will trade those things with you.
Now, when you gain levels, you earn skill points rather than just getting more damage, more strength. You can spend them on things like getting fur, teeth, like these hunting perks, or stat points. Early on, I actually recommend getting at least claws because they are the most common. But you do need to actually gain a level to actually get skill points. So I recommend the claws because it's going to earn the ore back quickly, and you're going to have plenty of skill points come the end of the game. It's like we've got some more scavengers in our way. Enemies actually do have limited spawns, so if you're really concerned with min-maxing everything, you'll want to wait until you've gained levels before fighting creatures like scavengers, but I'm not too concerned with that. This game is tough, but it's a lot easier once you learn it. It's also a viable strategy to take advantage of guards.
Lucky for you, but I would have enjoyed polishing your mug.
Guards will often come to help if you draw an aggressive creature or NPC towards them. Once you're in the camp, it's a different story, but we'll get to that eventually. I believe those are full-on scavengers, not juveniles, so we don't want to run into them. Wow, this texture mod is actually pretty good compared to the original game. Also, people don't like it when you approach them with a weapon drawn, so keep that in mind. I do want to go ahead and make a save. Back when it was standard for games to let you name your save files. Alright. Yeah. They're going to make 3 noises. And then charge. Oh, this is a regular scavenger. They're a bit more aggressive. But if you get the timing of your swings right, you should be fine. You may have guessed this much, but you don't want to eat the raw meat. It does heal a little bit, but you can cook it for more health. Those guys are particularly difficult to deal with at this point. We don't want to. There's some guards on the bridge. So if you do accidentally aggro one of the bugs, you can rely on them to help. Actually, I don't know if their leash goes that far. So you got some supplies nobody nabbed. Trust me, this scavenging is important. Berries. I think there are some... Yeah, there are herbs. Okay, there is someone at this camp. For some reason, I was thinking there isn't always. Stealing things that you can steal are not marked, so you have to use your best judgment. Thought there were herbs in the moat. I guess not. Let's see. How are we looking? Yeah, let's eat some berries to heal up. And we've got some things worth selling. Particularly this meat once we cook it. Let's take a little more of a look around. So the way enemy spawns work is as you complete chapters of the game, more enemies will spawn in each enemy spawn location. So, like, here, there might be multiple Scavengers if we waited until Chapter 2 to come this way. So it's beneficial to at least do a little bit of exploration before starting new chapters, which is typically done by completing a couple of main quests. It's not like Gothic 2 where you can accidentally completely skip Chapter 2, depending on which faction you go with. Oh, did not want to waste that. Let's see. How much is it to level up to level 2? Oh, it's actually only 500. I was thinking 1,000 for some reason. Let's see. Hell Mushroom, Seraphis. I believe more herbs might also spawn, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Let's see. Is anything living in this cave? Several things. Like that one guy said from the new camp, because that's what the... Wait, is it? Blue is new camp, I think. Ooh, that's a big pack. I don't want to risk that. Let's go around the other way. You really don't want to pick fights with more than maybe one slightly strong enemy until you've gotten some armor, let alone a reasonable weapon. Part of that is because damage threshold can reduce things down to 0 damage. This works both ways, so a creature with tough hide might take 0 damage from your rusty sword or something. Let's see. Yeah, I think there are actually some things I can do down here before too many creatures spawn here. Or at least some treasures I can acquire. I think this door is locked. No, it's not. Alright, so I'll explain lockpicking more once I've actually invested points into it. Because lockpicking, as you might expect, is extremely lucrative and totally worth your time to invest into. Even if you're not going to be a thief. I mean, it's an RPG. There are going to be locked chests all over the place. I want to say that one is especially good to have open early. Alright. If you swing your sword from side to side, that's really the best way to deal with Scavengers. Another herb or two over here. Old sword. Is that better than the rusty sword? 12 damage. Yes, it is. In this game, every upgrade you can get is a major upgrade. Those are goblins. Let me put into perspective how weak we are. In fact, I'll just show you. I mean, goblins are like the lowest of the low in fantasy settings, right? Yeah, that's how much... Wait, am I doing damage? Yeah, that's how much damage we take from a goblin. So, we don't want to come over here yet. I love this, like, difficulty form of progression gating, by the way. Like, it's not just the game saying, no, you're not allowed to go over here. It's the game saying, you're not strong enough to go over here, but you can try. Nope, 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 nope. Those raptor things will wreck you. Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, it's a Templar. Okay. So this guy is from the Swamp Camp, the third camp. They run a cult.
How's it going?
Since I've become one of the chosen protectors of the faith, I feel better than I have ever done before.
Sounds pretty important.
You're an infidel. You don't understand.
Templars are, I think, the, like, above basic rank. Let's see, if this guy goes far enough, we can loot the goblins after he kills them. And that would be pretty sweet. Of course, we lose out on the experience points, but trust me, there are plenty of experience points in the game. Oh, I guess they didn't actually have anything on them. Let's see. How do I forget what kind of a weapon I need to actually deal with those. But over here, Cavalorn.
What are you doing out here?
I'm a hunter. Above all, I hunt scavengers.
Where will I get a bow?
Here, I sell the best bows in the old camp.
Can you teach me something about hunting?
That depends. What do you want to know?
So you can learn the stealth skill and train up your bow skill, as well as purchase some bows. Barter in this game is not automated. You actually have to put up items of equal or greater value. Let's see. Short bow and a rider's bow. So let's go ahead and put up these old weapons. Mushrooms, beer, herbs, the tumbler, and conveniently we have 2 magic ore, which gives us enough to buy a rider's bow. I've forgotten the confirmation command.
What do you intend to do with the... You're learning fast.
Untarget, retarget.
Show me your goods.
At least now I know I have enough. We only have 9 arrows, but we can fix that pretty quickly. I've accidentally put up the berries that I'm actively using. Ah, that's the difference. Hit enter, accept. Now we have a bow. This is going to be helpful once we acquire some more arrows, because some enemies will take more damage from arrows than they will from melee weapons. My first playthrough, I kind of discounted the bow until about midway through the game when I was fighting enemies that could not be damaged with the best weapon I could get at that point. Or the best melee weapon I could get at that point, rather. Moral of the story: invest in the bow at least a little bit. Arrows are cheap, too. They're, I think, 1 magic ore value. That's a lot at first, but trust me, once you get to be powerful, you're extremely powerful in this game. One word of warning, though: do not use bows against humanoid enemies you do not intend to kill. You can knock enemies down non-lethally with melee weapons and then choose to kill them by doing a forward attack on them while they're on the ground. But bows will always count as lethal. Nope. That was too close to that bug. Let's go into the camp, because we are very close to a level anyway. That's an interesting bug. Oh, it's fire lighting.
Where do you think you're going?
To the camp.
You ain't come to make trouble, have you?
Let's drop Diego's name.
Diego says I'm to meet him in the camp.
Okay, in you go then.
Alright, so we've survived a day and made it to the old camp with some, I hesitate to say decent, let's just say some equipment. Short of 2 dexterity points, that's okay. Next time on Let's Play Gothic, we need to find a way to earn some magic ore. See you guys then.